We're back talking about the local real estate market here on the Duncan Duo Real Estate Show. And as I talked about just before the break, Joel Glazer and his wife Angela sold their property in Davis Island to Brian Glazer. They bought the property for 5.6, and it looks like Brian took out a 4.13 million mortgage last week. 12,800 square foot home was built in 2008 on land he also bought from Joel and Angela in 2006. So interestingly enough, I always like to use the celebrity real estate to teach you something about the real estate market and something real estate agents and appraisers do every day. But anytime there's any kind of interfamily, intercompany transfer like this, it's something that real estate appraisers and agents need to keep an eye on as to whether or not it's a true indicator of value. You might have an embedded discount when a property is sold to a family member. You could potentially have a transfer. A lot of times people will see a non-qualified recording of a deed or title on public records for a really low price. And, sometimes that's an estate selling a property to a family member. Sometimes it's a quitclaim deed from an individual to an LLC, and it shows a $0 or $10 sale, and it's not actually what's happening. That's the price to record that, and a lot of times that's an inter-family transfer. So the idea of getting those properties and people thinking, we've had people call into our show and call into our office and think that someone bought a property for $10. That is definitely not what happened. A lot of real estate transactions are not arm's length, and that's what real estate agents and appraisers have to interpret and have to look at when they're determining values for properties and what homes are sold for. I can't tell you how often we have scenarios where people will find homes and send them to us and consider them comps or comparable sales, when they didn't do the research to determine that it wasn't truly an arm's length sale. It was a corporate sale from one entity to another in a bulk deal. It was a family member selling to another family member. It was a property passing through to an estate or to an LLC from an individual owner transferring it to his LLC. So, don't always rely on public records and tax rolls if you really don't know what you're doing to determine whether or not a property is a qualified sale or not to adjust for your home's value. Make sure to ask an appropriate professional and say, hey, look, I noticed this property. Because if it looks too good to be true or something looks off, it probably is, and you just need to do a little more research or ask the appropriate professional. That's certainly something we can help you with, and you can call our office anytime you have questions about that at 855-970-WFLA. It's 855-970-9352. We can answer your questions when we are on air and aren't on air. But again, whatever county you're in, Pasco County, Hillsborough County, Pinellas County, they all show, some of those recording of deeds and property transfers that aren't, real sales, aren't arm's length sales from, one party to another. They're interfamily, their estates, their inheritances, their, inside deals from family member to family member. So you have to take that into consideration when those sales are recorded, and how it, it does or does not impact your home value.